So there's a little known movement tech in the game whose implementation could probably help you win about 50% more of the fights that you tend to lose. No, it's not mental jumps or magnet punches or any of that kind of stuff. Watch this. You might be a little confused, so here's another example. So did you catch it? Alright, if not, I'm gonna take you onto the firing range and we're gonna really break down what I mean. So the tech that I'm talking about today is something that I use a lot, but I didn't necessarily realize that I was using it or doing it until I started to pay attention to it. And ever since I started paying attention to it and actually using it on fights on purpose, I've won a lot more of my 1v1s and just fights in general, just because this one simple trick can give you a little bit of mobility in a fight that'll end up keeping you alive longer. So you're probably like,
is he ever gonna stop talking and get to the point?
Alright, my fault, y'all. What it's called, or what I like to call it, I call it the jump switch slide. So basically the way it works, when you jump in one direction and crouch midair, you can slide in that direction while not facing away from the direction that you're looking at, like so. Now I'm sure this would work a lot better for PC users, as you can tap strafe, and us on console, we just don't have that luxury. But at the same time, this is still something that you could segue in between other movement mechanics to make things a little bit easier or make things smoother. For instance, if you do this and you're next to a wall, at the end of your slide, you can turn to the wall bounce off the wall, and look back at your enemy, and you have even more movement without suffering the penalties of it. Now, even though I call it a movement tech, it's not anything nearly as complicated as a zip jump or a super jump or a mantle jump, any of that kind of stuff. And it's something that's really easy that pretty much anybody can implement into their kit, and if you do it correctly, you can come out with a lot of your wins that you may not have otherwise have won being the winner. I'm not going to toot my own horn and try to claim I'm the originator or the inventor or anything of this tactic or technique, but at the same time, you can definitely segue this in between other things that you do and weave it into your combos to help give you a little bit of an edge. I wanted to talk about this because this is something that's little known that I think movement aficionados like myself can add into their arsenal, and it can be something that you could break out in the middle of a fight, and it's something that's very small and very simple, but it could lead to big results in terms of you winning a fight that you may not have otherwise have won. And one thing I always talk about with this game is that it's very dynamic, and there are a lot of little small things and little minuscule things that you could do in the middle of a fight that'll end up helping you win in the end, or help you move a little bit more forward towards victory. This is one of those small things. It's not anything big, flashy, huge. It's not anything that takes any type of complex or really advanced thinking or mechanics, and it's something that everyone can do, and it can help you get just a little bit better at the game. And that's what I'm all about here, just little practical things that you could do to get better at the game that don't require you to spend thousands of hours practicing and getting consistent and getting good at to be able to pull out. Now, if you want to practice doing this, you can do like how you saw me doing earlier with the firing range practice. And though I've done some pretty intensive testing on the different ways that you can use this and the nuances behind it, once I did actually plan out this video, the possibilities are endless. I'm sure the fatigue bounce fanatics and all the movement aficionados that are a lot better than me will be able to find better ways to implement this and use this in games. But this is just a simple tactic that you could use to end up giving you a little bit of mobility and some movement in the middle of a fight, and it can keep you alive longer. Now, this was never intended to be that long of a video, so let me give you some examples of jump switch slides, and then I'll see you at the end to recap. Is this the same fucking...
Gotcha, bitch! Hey, yo, what the fuck? Who the fuck is you? Fuck off!
Alright, it's time to recap and gown, because you've graduated from 7 sins, regular movement, school, whatever. You've graduated from not knowing anything about this technique, or possibly having used it before and not realized it, to being conscious of it and actually using it in your fights effectively and on purpose. You've now graduated to the point of being able to call yourself just a little bit more of a movement aficionado, because you have a little mobility tactic that you can throw into a fight, and it may keep you alive a little bit longer in the end. And as long as y'all are playing the game better and not dying 10 seconds into a fight when you're on my team, I've done my job. So let me know in the comments if you were already using the jump switch slide and just didn't realize it, or if you learned something new today and I was able to help you just a little bit. Letting me know that would be a big help too. If this is your first time checking out the channel, I talk a lot about Apex fight strategy, getting better at the game, psychology, and all of those things. So if that's the type of thing that interests you, feel free to check me out on Twitch. And if you're a fan of the YouTube content, there's plenty more where that came from right here. Aha.